The story of the Great Wall of China, as we often imagine it, begins with a powerful and ambitious leader. His name was Qin Shi Huang, the very first emperor of a unified China. Around 221 BC, after he had successfully conquered all the warring states and brought them together under his rule, he turned his attention to a great threat. This threat came from the north, from nomadic tribes who would often raid the new empire's lands. To protect his people and his newly formed nation, he ordered the construction of a massive defensive wall. It was a project of incredible scale, something the world had never seen before. Before Qin Shi Huang, some smaller states had already built their own walls for protection. These were separate, shorter walls scattered across the northern frontier. The first emperor's idea was much grander and more strategic. He wanted to connect these existing walls and extend them, creating one continuous, formidable barrier. This massive undertaking was not just about defense, it was also a powerful statement. The wall was meant to draw a clear line between the civilized, agricultural society of China and the nomadic peoples of the steppe. It was a physical symbol of his new unified empire. The emperor's command set into motion one of the largest construction projects in human history. He sent his most trusted general, Meng Tian, to oversee the work. Hundreds of thousands of people were sent to the northern borders to begin the monumental task. This group included soldiers who were stationed there to defend the frontier, but it also included common people and prisoners. They were all part of the emperor's plan to build a wall that would secure his empire for generations to come. The vision was clear, but the human cost of making it a reality would be immense. The decision to build such a wall was driven by the emperor's determination to create a lasting and secure dynasty. He saw the northern tribes not just as raiders, but as a fundamental threat to the stability and identity of his China. By building the wall, he was attempting to control the movement of people and to define the very edges of his civilization. This grand vision was a display of immense power and authority, a project that would shape the landscape and the history of China forever. It was a bold declaration to the world of the strength and unity of the Qin dynasty. The primary reason for building the Great Wall was protection. For centuries, Chinese dynasties faced constant threats from nomadic groups from the north, such as the Xiongnu. These groups were skilled horsemen and fierce warriors. They would sweep down from the northern grasslands to raid Chinese farms and cities, stealing food, goods, and taking people captive. These raids were a serious problem, causing instability and fear along the border regions. The wall was designed to be a massive shield, a physical barrier to stop these fast-moving cavalry attacks and give the Chinese army time to respond to any invasion. The wall was more than just a simple stone line. It was a sophisticated military defense system. Along its length, there were watchtowers, fortresses, and garrison stations. Soldiers stood guard in the towers, constantly watching the horizon for any sign of trouble. If they spotted an enemy approaching, they would use smoke signals during the day and fire signals at night to send messages quickly along the wall. This system acted like an ancient telegraph, allowing news of an attack to travel hundreds of miles in just a few hours. This gave the empire a huge advantage, enabling them to move troops to where they were needed most. Beyond its military function, the wall also served to unify the empire. By creating a clear and definite border, it helped to foster a sense of shared identity among the Chinese people. It separated us from them, the settled agricultural society of China, from the nomadic cultures of the steppe. This physical division reinforced a cultural one, strengthening the idea of a single, unified Chinese civilization under the emperor's rule. The wall was a constant reminder to everyone within its borders that they were part of one great nation, protected and defined by this monumental structure that stretched across their northern frontier. The wall also played an important role in controlling trade and movement along routes like the Silk Road. Gates and checkpoints were built at key passes, allowing the government to regulate who and what came into and out of China. This control allowed them to tax goods, manage trade relationships, and prevent unwanted people from entering the empire. In this way, the wall was not just a defensive barrier, but also an instrument of state power. It helped the dynasties manage their economy and foreign relations, making it a crucial tool for maintaining stability and prosperity within the empire's borders. The construction of the Great Wall was an epic of human labor and immense suffering. The wall was not built by a single dynasty, but was worked on for centuries by millions of people. The builders included soldiers, peasants, convicts, and political prisoners. These men were taken from their homes and families and sent to the harsh and remote northern frontier. They worked under extreme conditions, facing scorching heat in the summer and bone-chilling cold in the winter. The work was grueling and dangerous, involving quarrying massive stones, carrying heavy loads up steep mountains, and working with basic tools. Life for a worker on the wall was a daily struggle for survival. They were often given very little food, mostly just rice or millet, and had to live in simple, crude shelters. Many died from exhaustion, starvation, disease, or accidents. The terrain itself was an enemy. They had to build on treacherous mountain ridges and across vast, empty deserts. Legends say that for every stone placed on the wall, a life was lost. This is why the wall is sometimes called the longest cemetery on Earth, as it is believed that the bodies of many workers who died were buried within the wall itself. The emotional toll on the builders was tremendous. They were far from their loved ones, living a life of hard labor with little hope of ever returning home. Folk songs and poems from that time tell stories of their sorrow and despair. One famous legend is about a woman named Meng Jiangnu, whose husband was sent to work on the wall. When she heard he had died, she traveled to the wall and wept so bitterly that a section of it collapsed, revealing her husband's bones. This story captures the deep pain and sacrifice that families endured for the sake of the emperor's project. This immense sacrifice was made by generation after generation. While the first emperor started the wall, later dynasties, especially the Ming dynasty, repaired, rebuilt, and extended it significantly. For hundreds of years, the demand for workers seemed endless. The leaders and generals who oversaw the construction were driven by duty and the emperor's command, but they witnessed the human cost firsthand. They had to push the workers relentlessly to meet their goals, knowing that the safety of the empire depended on their success. The wall stands today as a monument not just to the emperor's power, but to the sweat, blood, and tears of the countless ordinary people who built it. The Great Wall of China is far more than just an ancient military structure. It has become a powerful symbol for the Chinese people. It represents their endurance, their unity, and their determination to protect their homeland and culture through centuries of hardship. The wall, often compared to a giant dragon snaking across the landscape, embodies the strength and spirit of the nation. For many generations, it has been a source of national pride, a reminder of the incredible things their ancestors could achieve through collective effort and sacrifice. It is a physical link to their long and rich history. The leaders who ordered its construction, from Qin Shi Huang to the Ming emperors, saw the wall as essential for the survival and identity of their empire. For them, it was a statement of power and a practical solution to a persistent threat. The builders, on the other hand, likely felt a mix of emotions: fear of their harsh overseers, sorrow from being away from their families, and perhaps a small sense of pride in contributing to something so immense. Their individual stories are lost to time, but their collective achievement remains, a testament to human resilience in the face of overwhelming difficulty. Today, the Great Wall of China is one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting millions of visitors each year who come to marvel at its scale and beauty. While it no longer serves a military purpose, its cultural and historical importance has only grown. It is a powerful educational tool, teaching us about ancient Chinese engineering, military strategy, and the immense human cost of such grand projects. Walking on its stones, one can't help but feel a deep respect for the countless individuals who labored to create it. The legacy of the Great Wall is a complex one. It stands as a monument to both imperial ambition and the suffering of the common person. It is a symbol of division, meant to keep people out, yet it now serves to bring people from all over the world together. The wall reminds us that history is built not just by great leaders, but by the hands of millions of ordinary people whose sacrifices should never be forgotten. Its enduring presence on the horizon continues to inspire awe and reflection, securing its place as a timeless symbol of human determination and a treasured heritage for all of humanity.